Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special evening. Now, I say special because for me, it's really for three reasons. I think the first reason is it's the first time that this is a live event that's been broadcast. The second is it's the first opportunity that McKinlay and Rundle College have come together and allowed us to present it up and down in this format. And I think the third, and probably the most important reason, so maybe I should have started with that, is it gives us an opportunity to meet you. And I think if I look at the attendance tonight, I know we've got a lot of staff here, and thank you for the staff who have joined us, but there's a lot of people online as well, so you might find that there's some pause or hesitation in case we have any questions from online. I'd like to introduce you to our team. So starting from the left, Jane Hoskin.
Hi there, I'm Jane Hoskin. I'm with Reid, and I'm here by the campus.
And of course, Tana.
Hi, I'm Tana Strutt. I'm with Rundle College, and I'm the exams officer.
And of course, Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Stead, and I'm head mentor at Reid.
All right. The mistake I already made is that I didn't get Jane's full name right. And you know what I even sent her a WhatsApp this morning and I said, Jane, how would you like me to introduce you? Oh, it'll be easy. Well, okay, I got that wrong. But neither does it matter. Just quickly want to talk through the events for today or for tonight. First of all, we're going to have a little presentation that we put together for you, which hopefully will give you an overview of what the schools are about and what makes us unique, what we feel what makes us unique. Then we're going to have an opportunity for Q&A. And as I said earlier, the Q&A might be a little bit delayed because we've got a number of people joining us online. After that, we're going to have an opportunity to do a brief tour around the school. And from that, anybody who'd like to stay afterwards, we have another presentation which specifically deals with matric versus matric with exemption, the subject choices and the groupings, which is quite a lot of technical information. And with respect, if your child is only in, let's say, grade 8 or 9, that might not be as relevant to you, but you're more than welcome to stay. So without any delay, Nadesh, thank you very much.
In the heart of the Garden Route, at the foothills of the Outeniqua Mountains, lies the beautiful city of George, second largest city in the Western Cape. Here you will find two Cambridge schools, namely Rundle College and McKinlay Reid.
Over 2,200 universities and colleges worldwide recognize Cambridge qualifications. They are accepted by every UK university, by more than 850 universities in the US, including all the Ivy League universities, and in many other major student destinations such as Canada, Australia, Singapore, South Africa, Germany, and the Netherlands. Universities and employers recognize our qualifications as evidence of academic achievement. They understand that the demand of our curricula and the rigor of our assessments give students what they need to flourish in higher education.
Rundle and the Cambridge style of education was essential for me to be prepared to come to school here in the United States. It certainly put me on par, if not actually ahead of where the majority of my American counterparts have been.
With the Cambridge pathway, students build more than just a deep understanding of their subject. They also develop higher order thinking skills so that they can apply what they've learned.
My experience there was incredibly enriching, and I believe the skills and tools that I learned have been invaluable even after I've left.
Rundle College and McKinlay Reid will be merging at the beginning of 2024 to become known as Bramble Hill International School. Until such time, the two schools will run separately, with much collaboration taking place in anticipation of the merge. Currently, the two schools offer different models, which will continue until the merge.
Welcome to Rundle College.
My name is Rita Smith and I'm head prefect.
And I'm Stefan Mila, the deputy head prefect.
Good morning.
Morning, Reid.
That is just one of our many roles here as prefects.
Why should I choose Rundle?
Well, here we offer a wide variety of subjects that cater to every student's ability and interest. The high standards of academia allows students to strive towards achieving their best.
Also, we endeavour to strike a balance between the academic and social spheres, which is why we enjoy our interactive and inclusive house activities so much, as well as being actively involved in our community.
The Rundle model follows a more conventional teaching style in that we offer daily classes according to a roster or timetable. We never have more than 25 students in our classes, which means that the students are guaranteed personal attention. We present classes from grade 7, or what we term checkpoint 1s, all the way up to grade 13 or A-levels. This is a school leavers year that is a springboard for international education. At the more senior levels, the class sizes become even smaller because the students have started to specialize through their subject choices. This means as the work's difficulty increases, the students are provided with even more personalized attention.
In terms of personal development, I believe the smaller classroom sizes allows for a more individual approach to learning, and it creates a unique sense of independence and accountability that you wouldn't find elsewhere.
The teachers at Rundle really cultivate such a safe and accepting space.
Here at McKinlay Reid, because of our very low teacher-learner ratio, we're so privileged to be able to work closely with each and every individual student. Our goal for our learners when they do leave us finally at the end of IGCSE or AS or A-levels is for each and every learner to become independent, self-directed, resilient young humans, ready to take on anything that life throws at them.
At McKinlay Reid, I was allowed to work independently and set my own pace. This helped me immensely in time management skills as well as taking responsibility for my own education.
At McKinlay Reid, all teaching and learning hinges around content-enriched Google Classrooms with student-facing pacesetters. Each student is expected to consult their pacesetter for each subject daily and to identify work and assignments ahead of time so as to arrive well prepared for lessons. This academic structure allows for flexibility. For example, if a swimmer needs to be away for a gala or a golfer for an important tournament, they can plan and manage their academic responsibilities. By doing this, they learn important life skills, how to communicate appropriately and timeously, and how to write emails. We have a proud history of preparing sportsmen and women for college placements in the US, using the Extracurricular to prepare them for any academic system. McKinlay Reid's philosophy is that education is a holistic endeavor and not solely an academic one, that human growth and development is not linear, and that we can all learn to become successful in our own way.
Our middle school is made up of checkpoint 1 to checkpoint 3, which is equivalent to grade 7 to grade 9. The core subjects offered in these grades are English, Afrikaans second language or French foreign language, mathematics, and science. The students are assessed in these subjects throughout each term and write exams mid-year and end of the year. The other subjects offered in these grades are social science, economic management science, and art. The learners are assessed in these subjects throughout each term, but are not examined on them. Our two interest subjects offered are design and technology and travel and tourism. These are covered to give the students an idea of what the subjects are about to help make their subject choice for IGCSE a bit easier. Our middle school students participate in a physical education lesson once a week, offered by Playtime Active, and a chess lesson each week.
After having experienced the different subjects in Checkpoint 3, the students are able to make a more informed decision on their subject choice which they have to make for IG. These subjects are discussed with them later in the year.
A new subject has been added to the Rundle College subject list for 2023. IGCSE Marine Science has recently become available in South Africa. The subject builds knowledge of scientific concepts and theories that are fundamental to any science. It helps learners understand the complex and intricate nature of marine environment and its ecosystems, and it encourages a sense of responsibility towards the environment.
McKinlay Reid does have a very individualistic and unique approach to education, both to teaching and to learning. But we do also offer mainstream subjects that are required by tertiary education institutions. Learning and teaching happens in a very unique way at McKinlay Reid. There is some class contact time where we debate, discuss and explain, as well as independent learning times where students can complete assignments and prepare for the flipped classroom. In this way, important traits of responsibility and independence are developed.
Subjects that are available to IGCSE students in 2023 are the compulsory subjects English, Afrikaans or French, and mathematics, as well as the choice subjects biology, chemistry, physics, environmental management, business studies, economics, marine science, travel and tourism, art, and global perspectives. There is something for everyone. Global Perspectives is a unique Cambridge subject that develops essential thinking and research skills that prepare our students for the rigors of tertiary education. In our beautiful country setting, you will often find lessons happening outside. Here, an IGCSE class is unraveling the complexities of mathematics, assisted by Darren, our senior mathematics mentor. While these art students enjoy the freedom of working under one of the many fruit trees on the premises. Over here on the swings are two students taking a break after completing their assignments, while Elmar explains the ecosystem of our small dam to his environmental management students. Your child will certainly benefit from our wide choice of interesting subjects at our beautiful school, McKinlay Reid International.
Now, it's not just all work at our school. There are also opportunities for fun and service. Students participate in multiple events and activities throughout the year. Each student, when they arrive at the school, is assigned to a house, and therefore they can participate in our inter-house events, such as our general knowledge quiz, sports days, and competitive games. Students can also help in fundraising for the annual matric dance through themed Civies Days and Boerewors Prize. For those who are more community-minded, we host termly blood drives. In addition, we have an interact group who show their support and help at events such as the Cancer Relay and the Outeniqua Wheelchair Challenge.
Our academic program is enriched with many activities, such as volleyball, inter-house activities, hiking and trips, first aid courses, art projects, chess tournaments, gardening, and projects facilitated by the Interact Club. In addition, we participate in the President's Award, linked to the Duke of Edinburgh Award in the UK. This extracurricular program aims to develop teens in the area of service and physical recreation. They learn a new skill of choice, and they participate in an adventurous journey.
Since 2015, Rundle College has achieved recognition from Cambridge across a number of subjects each year. These include High Achievement, Top in Country, and our proudest achievement to date, third in the world ranking for environmental management.
I found my passion in Rundle, that being environmental science. In matric, I was awarded third in the world for my end of year result. Rundle changed my life in more ways than one, and only good ways. I have so many good things to say about it and could go on and on and on.
So, we hope to see you next year for our time as prefect.
We are extremely excited about the new location of the schools. Just off the R404, past the strawberry farm, is the venue known as Tremonto. This prestige property is being renovated and will be the home of all three schools in the very near future: Rundle College Preparatory, Rundle College High School, as well as McKinlay Reid will all share this exquisite venue.
I want to thank the team and specifically Nadesh for putting that together. If anybody's ever been involved in editing or film like that, it's not easy, especially when you've got such a strong-minded group of people. Lots of cooks. But seriously, thank you very much, team, for putting that together. I did say to you that we would open the floor to, obviously, questions. I know that there's probably going to be quite a lot of questions about the new premises, which is behind the ladies there, as you can see. So I'm not going to be specific in answering any of those. It's probably better that you would go to the actual map itself and have a look, because it's quite detailed. You'll get an overview of what is to be expected. Questions and hopefully some answers. And I might pull on some of the other staff that are here to say, just get yourselves ready, get your voice, your talking voice ready. And anybody feel free to kick off with a question. No staff are allowed to ask any questions. Okay? I saw your hand there, Boyd. It's not that. Anybody? Obviously, we try to cover as much as we could. I know it's a lot of information. I hope the people at the back were actually able to see. I know the sound was quite good, so I'm hoping you got that. Anything from anybody, I'm sure. And Louise is tapping away there, so maybe there's a question online. But we won't turn the camera around, so you can ask the question in detail.
I think just for those online, they're welcome to post up in the chat or the Q&A box, and then those physically can raise their hands.
So somebody's got to kick it off. Otherwise, I have to open the floor to the staff. And I said to Boyd, he's not allowed to ask a question. Here we go. There's somebody at the back there.
So the schools are merging, just find out how this school will change.
Okay, so yes, you unfortunately did miss that part. So the school will not change. That's just the merge in terms of the actual location and a new name, but the offering will stay exactly the same. But thank you, very, very good question. Yeah. Anybody else arrived late and maybe missed the first part? You know what? There's one thing that I didn't do, and I actually didn't introduce myself. And I was very, but I think I'll get the name right. So I'm Stuart Kineski. I'm the principal of the group of the schools. And as I said, it's for me such a pleasure to be here tonight, specifically with all my staff in tow. I think, and I've also got a lot of students over here from both schools that have given up their afternoon and evening to welcome you and to take you through. So when we are finished with this, please, I'd like to invite you to have a chat with them. We've picked the brightest bunch. Am I right?
And unfortunately, some others volunteered as well.
Yep. You obviously know. All right. Any other questions from anybody?
Sorry, Stuart,
yes.
just to go back to your question, and that's one thing that I think as both schools we've been so excited about is the opportunity to collaborate. Because individually we're quite small and quite proud of what we've achieved over the years. But both of us are, I think it's, it links to the Cambridge curriculum, but it's also the type of people that work at these schools. And we're all about learning, and we're all about change, and we're all about adapting. So the fact that we've got the opportunity to work together really makes us very excited. And the fact that we've been given the opportunity by UXI and ISDO to be able to continue with our current philosophies is really, really much appreciated, because there's so many learners on our side that specifically like the flexibility, specifically like the fact that they can be allowed to develop proactively for themselves and show sort of agency of learning. And then there's other learners who definitely need a much more structured classroom environment. And this new school offering will be able to offer both.
And I think,
so it actually caters for all students. You don't have to be put in a box. They've got their options. And if the one thing doesn't work, we can always look at the other option.
And I agree. I think for us, the opportunity or the ability to share resources, and when I say resources, I mean staff, and experiences, I think is beneficial for everybody. So ultimately, what I feel is you're going to take two products and two services that have already proven themselves, merge them together and produce hopefully a new, let's call it, I don't use the word hybrid, a new version with, what did I say to Milani? We were talking about, she's looking at buying a new vehicle. Sorry, Milani, just in case there's any salesmen here, but it's new and improved, isn't it? I mean, when you're going to upgrade your vehicle, you want something that's better for you and it serves your purpose. And for me, this is what we, as a group, can do for you.
We've got some questions online, just regarding golfing students. Where do they fall under McKinlay Reid for tuition and will boarding as well as tuition be at Toronto for all students?
Anybody specifically want to answer that? Okay, so the boarding part is going to be at Toronto at the end. Currently, the boarding, maybe we can ask Gustav, if Gustav is close by, if you'd like to just come in and answer that question. I think, Gustav, I did say that you might get a question, but you might need to come a bit closer. And Louise,
just stand in the camera.
yeah, come this side.
Sorry, I'm Bramble.
We're gonna put you on the spot. This is Gustav, everybody. Gustav, this is everybody. And Louise, will you ask that question again, please?
So for the golfing students, do they fall under McKinlay Reid for tuition and will boarding as well as tuition be at Toronto for all students?
Yes, that is correct. All the academy guys will be, that's full-time in the boarding house, will be at Toronto, hopefully early next year, as soon as we can. And yes, they will be at McKinlay Reid doing full-time studies here on a much more flexible online option that is available right now, which means that we will be actually playing golf during school. Don't say that to the moms, but that's what we're going to do.
You said a few questions, Louise.
The others, I've just posted up brochures for information.
Okay,
and
excellent.
then why the merger only effective in 2024?
Okay, so I think I'm going to try and answer that, and anybody else at the back there maybe want to add. So I think the first thing is that the premises has to be completed. I mean, we've acquired the premises and we have submitted plans and we're on the process of, let's call it, building. So, and that, as most of you will know, takes a bit of time. So we thought 2024, January, would be a good start to give us time to get the systems in place and to allow the two schools to collaborate fully. Look, we are already effectively merged. We're just offering the two systems and we're actually collaborating in that respect already. So it's just the physical move that I think is what we're talking about coming in January of 2024. Or earlier, but let's just, I won't put Gustav on anymore. I see him saying, please don't do that to me. But the fact of the matter is, we all know that these things do take time, and if we're going to do it, we've got to do it properly. You don't get a second chance to make a good first impression, right? So let's do it properly.
I don't know if there's questions from...
Any other questions from the floor? So if anybody? Okay.
What would the capacity of that school be at the new location?
Gustav, and I think you've told me, but I just want to double check.
No, between 500 and 600 kids.
So between 500 and 600.
But that is from pre.
From pre, yeah, sorry, from
Primary
pre
and
right through. So when you come closer, you'll see it's very clearly indicated. So you'll see there's, I haven't got the exact numbers of the different age groups, but between 500 and 600.
If you have a look here, these are the current buildings, the existing buildings, and this is the pre-primary, and this is the primary, if I'm right.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the high school is on that side.
Right, so what I think we'd like to do, if possible, is, don't forget, there is a second session, which sort of drills down into the matric versus matric with exemption and the groupings, and that is something, as I said, as well as examinations and how we register for external examinations. So it's a little bit, let's call it academic, maybe, or technical. Please, you're more than welcome to join, but we thought some people might be a little bit early for that and might not want to, and I didn't want to take your time unnecessarily. So maybe we could break, have an opportunity for a quick tour. Oh, there's another question at the back there.
Yes, sorry, I know I'm not a parent. Well, I am
Well, you are.
I'm a parent, grandparent. Okay, so supposing I've got a homeschool child who's expressed an interest in doing Cambridge, he's not a golfer, he likes computers, and he presents himself to you. Do you guide him to McKinlay Reid, or does he go to Rundle? He's not keen on classrooms. How does it work?
Great question, and I promise you I didn't prompt that. So what we would normally do is we would have a meeting with the parent and the child, and we'll do like a career guidance orientation session to then work out which the best model will be, and then we discuss that obviously with the parent, and then you guys, make an assessment of the two models, let's say, and then you make a choice. We also do assessments, obviously, to give us an indication on what the academic level is of the student, which then gives you feedback as well as to, and I know I've got some parents who are joining us next year that I've seen sitting here, and you'd know that you had to do those assessments. That gives us an idea as to where you stand academically. We only assess in a few subjects, we don't assess in all of the subjects, but it just gives us an idea. And then to answer your question, Jill, further from that, we then make the offer to you and say, this is what we reckon, this model, that model, or we together, so it doesn't really make a difference to us. It's what works best for the student.
There's another question.
Yes.
When does all of this still need to happen?
Which part?
A meeting with you and then assessing the child and then making a decision, enrolling the child.
Okay, also a good question. At this point, both schools are sitting at a certain percentage capacity. So if you're looking at making a move into 2024, then I don't think there's a problem. But if it's 2023, then we need to speak rather urgently. Yeah. Was that clear enough? Right, I'm going to, any other questions?
I think you've answered in terms of the size, expected size for Bramble and number of students per class.
Great.
Maybe just to clarify the class sizes.
Currently, Gustav, we've got the layout set at?
That would be 25 for the senior classes, but it's average 20. Rundle, the old Rundle model, and then what we will do on the McKinlay model, maximum 12, and average of about 10. So we will have two distinct models and two distinct class sizes as well. So we'll have a 25 class and we'll have a 10 to 12 classroom, and then we obviously will have our labs, which is huge, which will house about 30 kids at the same time. So yeah, and that's why it's taking so long to get to.
Come to the side, Gustav, because it needs to be conveyed across there. So you've got to practice. Come to the side.
You'll say it all over again.
You know what you're going to say, so just say it again.
I can't remember what I said. So on the Rundle model, we will have 25, but average about 20 kids, but the sizes will be 25 per class, that we can go to capacity. If you go to 25, we will be on 600, maybe 650 kids, but we don't want to be there for now. And then the McKinlay Reid model, the smaller breakaway classes, we will have maximum 12, but then average on about 10, which suits their mentor model much better. Okay, so specifically, and yeah.
And before you go, and just tying on from that, in case I'm sort of preempting the question, if you're going to ask about price points, the pricing is obviously different for the different offerings, and they're all available on our websites. So you're more than welcome to go and have a look there. It's all pretty clear.
Now, remember that the pricing will always be different, and I think you will understand the fact. So the parent-teacher children-student ratio on the McKinlay Reid or the mentor model is obviously much lower, which means it's more expensive, and the Rundle model will be normally what it is now because there's more children per class. Okay, so the one can't subsidize the other, which is going to make it a little bit difficult sometimes to explain to parents, but I think with the interaction that you have before the time, being guided to which model you need to take, I think that is the important thing. You'll understand that. Okay.
Don't go, just in case there's another question.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
So the McKinney Reid mentor model works best from IGCSE up. So those much smaller classroom sizes, that the increased flexibility is only for the more senior students. So it's not for the middle school, and it's definitely not for the junior school. It's that smaller classes and that sort of flexibility. Okay.
Right, any other questions, Anne-Louise? So far not. Okay, I'm sure that maybe we can answer them a bit later. So how I'd like to do this is, because there's quite a few of us, maybe we could, have you organised separate students to take, or are you just going to?
I think we just can herd them in here.
Okay, so maybe if I could ask the students to to come in, and then please feel free, maybe grab yourself a parent and take them around the school. And once again, thank you very much. And if I don't see you again, if you do leave, yep.
Can I suggest those that want to watch the academic can watch it now, because we are not going to have electricity.
Oh, good point. We were worried about it. Anybody would like to watch the academic part now, in case power goes, not in case, when the power goes off, we're more than welcome to do that. So if you prefer to do that,
IG takes place over 18 months, and as you can see on the table, 7 subjects need to be taken. The first 3 rows are compulsory. The only choice is between Afrikaans and French in row 2. From row 4 to 7, 1 subject needs to be chosen from each row. The 2 subjects marked with an asterisk, namely Design and Technology and Travel and Tourism, include coursework. This takes the form of projects which have to be completed by the students and are then moderated by Cambridge. After successfully completing IG, we recommend that the students continue with 5 of the subjects into AS. They can take more if they want to. The AS course is also spread over 18 months. After completing AS, the students have the option of continuing into A-level with some of their subjects. A-level runs for a year.
Students are allowed to choose a total of 7 subjects from a list. There are 2 main options to consider at this stage. The first is, what are the requirements for matric without university entrance? And second of all, what are the requirements for a matric with university exemption or university entrance? Let us first take a closer look at the requirements for a matric without university entrance. As you can see, there are 3 options which allows you to choose a variety of IGCSE, or shortened in this form to IG, and AS, or Advanced Subsidiary Subjects. The first option is a 3-subject at IGCSE with a minimum grade of a C, which is 60%, combined with 2 AS subjects at a minimum grade of 40%. A second option is using 5 IGCSEs. These can be at 40%, combined with 2 AS subjects also at 40%. The third option is where you have 3 IGCSE subjects, this time at a C symbol or 60% or above, and 1 A-level subject, this time at 40%. Now we will take a look at the requirements for matric with exemption or university entrance. The first option is where you have 4 AS subjects at a minimum grade of a D, which is 50%, combined with 1 IGCSE at a minimum grade of a C, which is 60%. A second option would be a combination of 5 AS subjects, all at a minimum grade of a D. In this case, a first language subject must be studied.
Cambridge Assessment International Examinations runs 2 exam sittings, one in May-June and one in October-November. The school runs both of these sessions for both school learners and private learners. It's important to note that Afrikaans is only available in the November session. Registration for the Cambridge Assessment International Examinations is in February for the May-June exam session and July for the October-November exam session. Payment for the examinations is required prior to final registration. Certificates for the external examinations are issued by Cambridge Assessment International Examinations Board. It is important that these are kept safe as they are not replaceable.
University South Africa will grant exemption certificates to holders of Cambridge International AS and A levels, granted that they meet specific requirements and certain subject group requirements.
As you can see on the slide presented now, USAF, or Universities of South Africa, produce a list of recognized subjects for exemption purposes. As previously mentioned, you have to meet their grouping criteria. Our subject choices, highlighted in the document showing, comply with these requirements.
The university will then consider your exemption and make their decision based on if your results meet the requirements, just like any other student's normal South African matric certificate.
When do we do this? Generally speaking, because it's so technical, we'd normally do it one-on-one. I start off with the student first, and then if there's any, let's say if the student has a different approach to the parent, then we bring the parent in and then we finalize the choice of the subjects. So we don't, for us, it's extremely important that we get this right, and we get it right early enough so that there aren't changes later. Right, any questions on this topic? I know it's quite... Yep.
Yeah, so I was going to ask about Afrikaans for South African universities. Isn't that a prerequisite?
No, a second language is a prerequisite. So yes, Afrikaans is one of the subjects that is accepted, of course, and recognized. On the second column, now I don't expect to go back to the second column now, that was the longest column. There are about 20 odd different languages which you can choose as a second language.
Arabic, Chinese, Czech, Dutch, French, German, Greek, Hindi, Zulu, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Latin, Malay, Portuguese, Russian, Swahili, Setswana, or Spanish.
I just want to clarify, we don't teach all of those.
But you could pick from those.
Yeah, and that's because it's Cambridge.
Yes.
It's not IEB, it's like they've got whole-based Afrikaans.
Well, even in IEB, you could have Xhosa as a second language and go to university. You just have to have your second language. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Perhaps you should explain about the Mandarin that we introduced this year.
Okay, so if, for example, there was a subject, a language that you wanted your child to do, or maybe you've lived in another country for a period of time, or maybe the child is, in this case, Mandarin speaking or Chinese speaking, then we can, it's not always that easy, but then we'll try and facilitate with getting a private tutor to then allow the student to take that subject as a second language. Sometimes the student takes it as an 8th subject, okay? So, and in those cases, the 8th subject then, so remember we said we require a minimum of 7, so then that student would then just take 8, okay? I think what's very important is that if you know where you're going to study, when I say where, I'm talking which country first, that allows us to then determine to what level we need to go. Is it going to be the matric with exemption, with ASs, and at what symbol do we need to make those university applications successful? Or, of course, if we're going overseas, and not all, unfortunately you can't just say as a general statement that all overseas require 3 A levels, but I like to say that all universities overseas require 3 A-levels. We obviously have had cases where students have got in with less than that, but I don't like being caught unaware, so I would recommend 3 A-levels. Okay. Any other questions there, Louise?
Sorry, Stuart, can I just add on to that?
If you want to add on, you must rather come this side, because bear in mind that your voice will not be, and then you're going to require me to repeat what you've said. So, no. Come, Jill, come. Take the limelight for a few seconds. You're more than welcome.
Sorry, you asked an awkward question.
Oh, wait. Come, because I can't see you here.
Stand in front of
Just
this.
stand here, there you look there.
Okay. Well, it's actually quite interesting. I was going to actually ask Gustav how many international students he's likely to be going for, because we have a situation at the moment at Rundle, I don't think they have it at McKinlay Reid, where we have first language Mandarin speakers, Portuguese speakers, French speakers, and so on. They come, some of them on a golfing program, and so they're full-time students. Now, they write their language as a first language at AS level, and they write English at second language at IG level, but we expect them to get a C for that. So there is a criteria involved.
True, and I think the important part on that is where they're going to look at studying at the end of the day, because we need to know what the requirements are of the receiving university. So when I say receiving university, I'm talking about generally an international university. So what we do then is we say, with the student, we communicate with the university and we find out and we get it in writing what the requirements are, so that we are not caught unawares at the end of the day. So that's why for us it's absolutely critical that we spend time with those students individually. You know, we don't want to find out a whole year later that maths was required at AS or maths is required at A level and you've only got it at IGCSE. It's too late. So we don't want to be caught unawares.
I think just on that one as well, it's important that you remember that most of our international students will be coming in August when they're finishing that side. So the proficiency or language proficiencies is going to be important, that they have to do most of the time English because our golfers wants to go to America, most of them. Okay, so that is it. But otherwise, you know, like our Chinese students coming here, difficult, because they need to come in and do English first and then understand it. And there's been some difficulty, but I think from an English perspective it was being done exceptionally well at Rundle. So we will do that again. So mostly on an English point of view, but your Chinese guys will have Chinese, Mandarin, whatever they speak, which is great. But then again, you know, if we have anything else, then it might be a problem. But as you say, we'll source somebody to get it into that. But we have somebody that does our English. And that is great. So, you know, we're lucky from that side. Okay. That's why they're doing so well.
Anybody else? All right, so in that case then, I think we're going to wrap it up. And again, for those people who would still like to have a tour, quick tour, you're more than welcome. And please don't forget the drink outside. I think it's hug and a mug. So it's almost matching the weather, hey? Thank you very much again for everybody for attending, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.